Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Noding. In this video, I'm going to continue with the explorations of bones and procedural animations in Blender using animation nodes and sphere chalk. I think I'm going to do like a kind of like little series of study of kind of like a animation in terms of locomotion or things that kind of procedural. Um, in this video, I'm going to look at some of the Miyazaki animations that actually kind of like thinking about how creatures flies. Like this ship, for example, it has multiple wings. This wing more like a static wing. There are few of Miyazaki animations that has a kind of interesting looking airplane or even balloon, like such as this one. So it's like a fish, but it's definitely, you look at it this and this and you start to think, oh, this is like a machine or like a creature, which is these wings must be have interesting kind of movement. I'll probably start with the most basic first. um, uh, Probably not gonna do this kind of thing real soon, but although this is possible, this is kind of like a fish. You can think like the body moves like in a wave pattern, and then the wing, just the idea. I'm not gonna like copy fully, but it can be interesting. So all sort of locomotion starting from maybe from insects kind of movement or kind of creatures. I actually look I was actually going to do like this paper bird or shikigami animation from Spirited Away. I couldn't find a clip that's with this kind of bird animation, but this shape is kind of interesting to me, and I recall that kind of shape, and looks like an angel. And there's this creature called sea angels, actually famous in Japan. It's really like a tiny creature. I saw this one time in the aquarium. You look at this motion. It's very elegant. I think it's really kind of cute. I don't know. It's like a wing, but it's just like slowly moving up and moving. It has a hole and then moving down, and the body kind of moving in that way. So I think I will do this creature today. I'm gonna maybe take a screenshot of this just in case I need it. I'm gonna close Firefox because it tends to slow down while I'm doing the recording. Yeah. Oops. I think I will need a. Anyway, I think I sort of get the shape, and I think I can create it using Blender. So that kind of motion for today is like the wing creatures. It's not like a bat. I kind of thinking, okay, if it's like a butterfly or like a dragonfly, it's kind of simpler. Yeah, nature sometimes nature looks really simple, like just a wing, just goes up and down, right? But it's actually, there's a lot of sophistication underneath, and sometimes you're replicating it using computer, and it looks mechanical. So that's why a really good animator is really an artist. Like if it's handmade, if I try to do it procedurally, but yeah, we will see. Maybe I need to add noise or something. So this is a study of wing 001. I can use sphere chalk to build the bones, but today I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna manually doing it using the skin modifier right away. Top view. So the top, front, and side, I think it's something that's confused people often for a modeler. I think the monkey head can be the reference. If we look at a view front, the monkey head is always facing the front. So this is actually our guide in modeling anything. So front facing of Suzanne should be the front, is the negative Y direction. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to top view. I'm gonna recreate the sea angel thing, the sea angel creatures, while thinking about some of Miyazaki animations. I don't know, maybe I can have multiple wings. I don't know. Maybe it's in the next video, but I will try the simple one first. I merge the cube in edit mode, basically, and then I'll try to draw a head. I'm doing it up way, even though the front is gonna be the other way around. I'm gonna flip it at some point. So this is gonna be kind of like a sea angel, sea angel creatures. I don't know whether this is gonna work or not, but anyway, it has a wing. The wing has multiple segments. I'm not gonna use B-bone for today, although B-bone might be a better way to do it, but I'm gonna use a multiple segment and showing it to you how you can do it using animation nodes. So this edge is gonna be the wing. I'm gonna turn the mirror modifier. So most creatures have this kind of symmetry at first, and then I will use the skin modifier. And okay, we have this kind of cross shape. Let's switch to the top view again. Turn on wireframe, pressing Z, and then back to edit mode. I will make sure this is the root. See, that's the chest. Okay, that's gonna be the root of the character, and I will make a little bit adjustment here and there. So this is gonna be the wing. Gonna expand it. Everything is should be subtle. So I think the character is looking like that. So there is a bit of, so it's more like a cross, more or less. The top part have this kind of head-like, and this guy can have a horn. There's a tiny horn. Yeah, just really tiny horn like that. Make the head slightly bigger. If we want to add more point in between, we can use subdivide and just add that. This should be bigger. Maybe something like that. It's looking like something else, but anyway, I'll make this flat. So we have this. I'll save it. Save another version. Since this is skin modifier, in this case I'm gonna flatten this guy. The wing especially. I'm selecting the wing part. We can select it one by one like that, or just simply use C like a brush, and then you paint it like that. And then Control A is controlling the scaling, but Control A and Y we can make it thin like that. So this is a kind of like a, yeah, I guess like a sea angel or sea devil. Just make it angel, and select this guy, and then Control A and then X. You can maybe rotate it. No, not too much. Maybe the horn is too long. Cut it. Just a tiny little one. I think this is probably the eyes of sea angel creature. If we smooth this, Control 2, and then pick a smooth shading there, yeah, we can start see a little bit a better representations. Back to edit mode. It's probably more like that. I think the most important part is the wing, of course. The rest of it doesn't matter too much. The head, make it more rounded. This thing is maybe more like eyes. Yeah, I think that's quite decent. We're not gonna do like a modeling kind of lesson. I'm gonna leave it like this. This is still have the mirror modifier. See, if I turn it off, we only have half. Turn it on, it's have symmetry. Gonna save this. This is a skin modifier kind of base. I will actually will apply the mirror. Make sure it's merged and clipping on. Apply. Oops. Cannot be applied in edit mode. Goes to object mode and then apply. We have the wing creatures ready to animate. The front. Should I flip it? Yeah, I think I can flip it. RZ180. Yep. Apply. Location, rotation, scale. And now I don't need the subdivision for now. It's just, let's use this. The plan is actually the workflow I try to think of in order to do this live noding. I'll always do like a kind of the edge, polygon edge. Start with polygon edge, whether you sphere chalk, procedurally generate the creature base, or you draw it like this manually. Manually you have more control, of course. But depends if your creature is like a centipede with 100 legs, you want to use sphere chalk, or kind of insects, you want to variations, use sphere chalk. This kind of creature, you just use this guy, and then we can just create armature. And here we have armature, and we can start animating right away. Because with a skin modifier, of course, each bone, each become the bone. This is the post bone. We can animate the X, of course. We're gonna do that actually. Oh yeah, there's one thing. The name of the bone is gonna be really important. In this case, I have to do a quick renaming. So this is so apparently this bone is by default. I think sometimes actually the skin modifier tend to make this. There's like a root somewhere in the chest. Don't know if we're gonna use that or not. Maybe we will. So there is this root part. Gonna leave it like that. The wing is what we're gonna worry about for now. Let's rename the wing. Go to edit mode, and in the panel we will bring this menu up. Just put it there. Okay, it's armature. The whole object is armature for the sea angel. We have this bone. It's called bone. Okay, this bone number 4. I need an add-on to do this. There is a bone helper bone helper add-on, but it didn't work. I have to reinstall it, I think. So anyway, I'll call this wing L 000. I'm gonna use manually rename it. Copy, paste, 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 paste. That's how you do it. Of course, you can mirror it, but I'm gonna manually do it. This is wing right side. Copy, paste, 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 paste. Okay, there's a 5 segment of the wing each side. The middle side, then the horn, we don't need to worry yet. Maybe a little bit later. file save, save again. I'll save often just in case. Okay, so we can animate the wing. How do we gonna do that? Let's see. Switch to compositing. I will do it using animation nodes. This is all gonna be procedural. You will see it's gonna be interesting. Let's open the text editor and load our script and get post bones. I'm using this script that I made again. This script will collect all the bones, and remember in the previous live noding I'm kind of animating all the bones all at the same time. In this case we need to separate the wings, left wings and right wings. We need to control over all that. How are we going to do that? Let's have a look. This is actually a trial and error. If there is a special nodes for working with armature and nodes and the bones in animation nodes, that will be perfect. For now, have to do it this way. Get bone post. Actually, post bones. Name armature is not defined. Armature is actually the object. I need to rename the variable to armature, and the output is going to be the post bones. This is going to be the bone. Get the armature, and now we have all the bones, but we need to filter out the list. Filter out the list. Filter object group. Filter object group list by name. Filter object list by name. That's what we want. Let's turn off auto always. Just turn on this tree. Plug this in. Let's check the list length at the moment. Debug. Let's have a look. Currently it says we have 24. 24 bones is the number of all the bones. Okay. If we filter out the left wing, I'm gonna filter it using the animation nodes. Filter object list does it, and right away it says we only have 5 for the wing L. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So now we can work with the wing L, and we're gonna work with wing, the other side of the wing as well, wing R. So that's a start. Let's save it again. Let's create a loop and test our setup. We will be animating the rotations of the wing. Let's jump to the post mode of the wing. Get this wing attribute, copy data path, and then use object attribute output. Paste the attribute name in there. Post bones wing. Here it's specifying the name of the bone. We actually don't need that because the bone list will be accessed by animation nodes, and then we just provide the attribute name. Rotation quaternion. That's the default of the wing. Sometimes you probably want the XYZ Euler. If you switch this into other, sometimes you even use the axis angle. Just use quaternion for now. It's okay. Value has wrong type. We need to provide a quaternion. Combine quaternion. Plug this in, and let's test it. X. Okay, in X it's kind of okay. It's doing kind of like a wing motion, even though it's a boring one because all the joints moving at the same time. It's okay. That's actually what we're gonna use anyway. Put this like that. Let's use the time frame as our input. If we plug into the X, it's gonna do a wrong thing. Of course, it's gonna keep rotating. It's kind of curling up. It's really wrong. That's not what we want. We need to use a function of sine. Most of the locomotion or wings or those kind of animation is actually kind of like a sine motions, because sine motion, if we debug it, it's really like just a value going from -1 to 1. Currently it's really fast. Let's slow it down using math. Multiplier multiply the frame number, because frame number it goes really fast. So let's slow it down. So now it's going, okay, -1 and going 1, curling up, curling down, just like the flower petal. That's not what we want yet. We need more control over the number. So let's use remap. Map range. By default, sign is from -1 to 1. We need to change it to whatever value here. Okay, that's 0. That's 1. It's actually interesting. It's kind of going the other way around. So that's 1 and -1. So -1, we need to give it a limit value, and then 1 should be less than that. So we want to make sure the wing doesn't go too much to the other side. So I think this is kind of correct. Just give it a slightly different value. So that's minus, okay. Yep, something like that should work. So we're starting to get somewhere. We don't need to see the script. Hide it. We need to decide which one is going to be the top side of. Okay, that's let's do it the other way around. So when it goes up, the wing doesn't go too far. But when it goes to her chest, just at the bottom, then it can go more. Okay, we can easily copy this to the other side of the wing. Of course, we're gonna leave it like this for now. If we switch to 3D view full, we can see it's in the full speed. Switch back to compositing. We can call this done. Okay, this is finished. We can give control to the animator, like make the wing faster or slower. But we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna kind of make it better. Make the wing better by kind of lagging the segment a little bit, kind of like delaying the segment. And normally I told you that I like to use delay time and delay it using the index. So now the wing has a little bit more life because there is a what is secondary action, or it's one of the principle of animations. It's like things like behind a little bit. You can of course have more control over the lag by using math. So we can increase the lag. Now starting to look like the sea angel because it's moving underwater and it has this kind of cloth-like motion. Sometimes for a character with wings, sometimes the wing is more like kind of like the bird or the bat's kind of wing. So it has that kind of more joints. If actually I was thinking to make a character like the dragonfly also. Dragonfly is very, very interesting. The wings kind of moving, not all 4 wings moving at the same time. Sometimes this guy can be lagging a little bit, just but they are moving really fast. It's also nice to study that. Some things you can also create using this method. It's probably simpler. You don't need to have like a multiple segment of wings. Anyway, we have one side of the wing kind of working. I think that's pretty good enough. You can use I think, let's say if you use interpolation, I don't know what this is gonna do to it, to our motion. Let's use exponential. This is actually kind of nice because it's kind of like a bird. It's kind of, when it's moving down, it's kind of more force, and then slowly moving up and more force again. If you look at the motion of the sea angel, if you go to YouTube and check it again, the sea angel actually have kind of hold. It moves and then hold, and then it moves up again and hold and move down again. It's very cute kind of motion. I think you can actually mix the interpolation. I haven't tried this much, but I don't know what the factor is going to be. The factor is probably going to be the value. Let's test this anyway. So linear and linear. So let's say we use the bounce. It's not looking nice. Exponential, okay. Let's use exponential again, but at the back. Very interesting, slightly weird there. Yeah, definitely you can play around with the mix interpolations, get it right, and then you have more interesting motion for your creatures. Now let's copy this into the other side of the wing. It takes time to perfect the motions. I don't know. That's why animation is an art. You know, it's not like you just plug in the math and then it's gonna work. No, you have to tweak it until it looks perfect. It's not necessarily copying the nature. It's getting it right. Getting it to look right and looks beautiful, pleasing to the eyes. We're kind of doing it. Okay, I forgot to plug in the index. So this, you see, this is on the left. It's very mechanical, but once you have the lag and delay, it's looking very natural, more natural at least. Let's don't use interpolation, just use a simple, just use exponential. I kind of like this motion at the moment. If you want to make it nicer, of course, you can animate the bone in the center. Let me check this bone real quick. Okay, the bottom part can move, and the top part also can move, like using sine wave. Sometimes okay, with this bone, currently the bones are locked to their parents. They have parent-child relationship. Rotations does it. Sometimes I kind of think that when creature moves in the air, it's moving more like that. It's kind of almost the joints moves ups and down. Anyway, let's try applying it to the center bones. This is gonna be, I'll call it the tail. Where's the bone name thing? Okay, bone. Okay, tail. Tail, center, 0, 0, 0. Copy, paste, paste. If you know an add-on to rename the bone, let me know. What I like it to use before is the Bone Helper by Isodoro. Isodoro is a Japanese Blender artist. It's really good add-on. It doesn't work quite. It should work. I installed it, but it didn't show up here. Okay, the tail. So the tail can have motion just like the body. Yeah. If it's with a wing character, if this is the wing and this is the body, the motion actually, if the wing, this is the wing goes up, if the wing goes down, the body will move. So trying to do that as well. With the okay, the root, we can use the root. Okay, the roots can go up and down. That really adds a lot. Whatever root, things like if you have like a head and a body of character, the head tilt will add a lot to the character, just like the body root. Even a side by side movement like this in a sine motion is it's really gonna add a lot. I wonder, so with the tail, I wonder if the tail should move up and down or side by side. I don't know. Let's test it. First of all, we're gonna get the tail. We're gonna specify it to animation nodes. Okay, just get the tail center. Tail C, that's why I name it like that. Tail center. Wing right, wing left. You know, it's easy to work. Now let's see. We can probably just just use this wing motions and then try applying it. Okay, with Blender compositing with the nodes, you can also use L to kind of back select like that, and then just copy. Plug the index there and plug this in there. Let's have a look at the motion at the moment. It's gonna look wrong. So yeah, at the moment it's moving. It's more like mosquitoes actually, or bees. Maybe not too much on the body because the body is heavier. It should move less. The thing with animation is you kind of sometimes you want to like it. And you kind of want to vary the motions, but with a creature, especially when they're flying, for flying kind of creatures, their motion is almost like rhythmical. So mechanical, yes, but there's something more on top of it. Maybe it's not this kind of perfect kind of motion, but there's a slight variations. I don't know, maybe use the root. Okay, for the root animation, we don't need to use the loop. We just need to grab this guy, and then this is moving this up and down is controlled by the X actually, the X. So I can just copy this and then paste this into object attribute output. Copy data path and paste it there. Post bone location. This is the bone is the root. And select the armature. Now it's already selecting the post bone, which is really cool. Let's use the sine wave again. Sine wave function is very useful. It says value has wrong type. Okay, because we are currently specifying location. Location is XYZ. All the three value, we just want it on the Y. And it's not quaternion really. It's not quaternion. It's a It's okay. Now it's moving up and down. We actually need to flip it. Maybe use cosine now. So actually use sine, but we need to flip it. Maybe make this positive and make that thing negative. You maybe need to adjust the timing slightly. Maybe just adjust this offset. So at the moment, of course, all the motion is being controlled procedurally using the sine functions. So I'm kind of happy with the motion at the moment. Save this real quick. And let's look at it in full and smooth it. Alt A. Yeah, it's quite decent. Of course, there's a little bit of, oh yeah, the body motion is not, it's not what I wanted. It doesn't have leg. With the body motion, actually, we don't need this exponential thing. Exponential, just turn it off. And maybe this should be -1 and delay should be like 6. Or maybe 3. Yeah, now slightly better. With the head here, we can really animate it ourselves. The head, normally for a floating creature, it's the head is more static. It moves slightly, but not too much. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty happy with this. If I want to add more to this, currently it's by smoothing the character is less fat, but there is a quick way to kind of make it more fat again. Just use displays and control the strength. I like to do that. And actually I'm gonna show you this. The character is moving underwater. If there's like a turbulence over the body, it gives more to the character. I'm gonna create a texture, and it's gonna be a cloud texture, and maybe not that strong, but I'm gonna show it to you. If we use an empty and use an object here, select the empty and move the empty that way, it's kind of okay. It's kind of like the noise going through the body of the character. That's also that's what we want. With the Y, so it's the motion of the Y we need to control. Select this, insert single key, add drivers. Actually, add drivers single from target and plug it to the time. Now it should be moving. I think maybe it's a little bit too fast, but let's have a look. Maybe the water current is really high. But of course you can slow it down. Just now I was using Blender owns drivers. Blender driver using the eye drops and put it put it into, I'm using the frame number to drive the position of this empty, and it's currently really fast. In order to control that, switch to animation and switch to drive first. And with this guy over here, just multiply this by 0.4, for example. Now the motion should be less fast, still pretty fast. Wait, did I make mistakes? Variable times that's 0.1. Okay, slower now. Still fast, but getting there. Switch back to animations. 0.1, 0.06. Now it's kind of nicer. Whether this character is flying or moving underwater, it's something you can control, of course, by the speed. We're making like illusion of it. I switched the modifier now, and we have the wiggle thing underneath. So this character needs an eyes. Stop it. This is Blender, of course. If you want to make changes to the bones and you want to go back to the bones and go to edit mode, you can do that. Now the character is back in the pose mode. And if you want to make changes to the character in edit mode, you can also do that. It's very flexible. I love it. For this character, I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna use I think vertex paint. Whoops. Vertex paints give you it goes back to the skin modifier. We actually still have the skin modifier. So if I go back to the edit mode and then this is the skin, if I add like a nose to the character, now it's looking like a bear. Yeah, probably not a good idea unless I maybe make a root. No, I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Just leave it like this for now. What else we can do? Actually, if we want to bake it, we can bake it using animation nodes, overview, bake to keyframe. Now it's baking all the bones that's moving. Oh, just now I stopped it accidentally. If you make the animations kind of looping, because it's a sine motion, you get like a certain frame range, and so that this character can move, you can make a duplicates and make many of these characters. You can also use Alembic. I think that's another possibilities. Currently, I'm just baking the keyframe first. You're gonna have this motion. If they are baked, you can save this blend and then post it on a website like oh, I forgot the name. Sketchfab. Sketchfab is good. Sketchfab. Save your blend file. Upload it into Sketchfab, and you have this 3D motion of your character. Everything, the joints and then everything, still working. If I want to make it nicer, I don't know. I feel like I want to test to export Alembic just to test it. End frame, I don't know. Let's check. Let's kind of guess. It starts from the middle, so when it goes back to the middle, it's a one full cycle. From the middle, it goes up, goes down, and then somewhere there in the middle again, 30, 32. Okay, let's say 32, and then export Alembic, export selected object only. Okay, and then save this as Alembic, saving it, file, import Alembic, get the Alembic. Now we have this character. This is actually just the Alembic. Let's switch to another layer. See, I believe if I close the node editor, it moves faster. Okay, that's your character right there. Okay, it's Alembic. It's really fast. You can have as many if you want, and you can kind of delay the offset using animation nodes once again. But that's probably how I will do it. This is the Miyazaki animation, everyone. Okay, we can randomize the position, and then everything should move. I don't know, at the moment they're just randomly positioned. If I'm not wrong, Blender also have a trick to randomize the position. Select all, randomize, transform, and then go to the panel here, randomize location. Whoops, Blender just crashed. I think I did something wrong, but anyway, there you go. That's a quick look at a quick study of flying creature animations. I really get the inspiration from Miyazaki. Look at his animation, and for flying creatures, I also look at the sea angel creatures motion in the YouTube. I try to replicate it using procedurally using animation nodes. It's but yeah, it's probably not perfect at first, but continue tweaking and then adding some kind of randomizations, maybe even manually add your own animation layer, the animations on top of it. You'll get a believable creatures, and then again using the Alembic you can have multiple of these creatures flying and floating, and if you can loop it, that's like a big benefit. So I have an empty Blender files at the moment. So this is I'm gonna switch to desktop and grab our flying creature again. Surprisingly they're looping, so nicely looping. If we make this frame 1000, yeah, the Alembic, with Alembic it's not actually, it doesn't have options to loop. You can loop it using animation nodes, okay, and just use this override frame and just delay and things like that, do things like that, and then you can have many of this creature again. Let's turn off override frame. Again, you can multiply it, you can scale it, make it tiny, make it big. You can also, for now, for this purpose, I'll just use Matcat. Have a blue color, not white. More like anime kind of look. Have ambient occlusion. No, don't worry about that. There you go. No. There you go. That's just a quick look on study of animations, creature floating, flying creature using animation nodes. Hope you enjoy these video tutorials. Leave a comments down below if you have any suggestion, or hey, make the animation, make it more like this, or just let me know. Thanks again for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, and then I'll continue making video like this. And thanks again. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.